Well. Back for another week of the Coaching Corner. I want to say a word of welcome to all of you that are catching this, probably watching on replay, because let's face it, there's no way you could actually be watching with me just yet if you're watching live. I want to share under the theme that we've been talking about for the past month or more, actually probably even longer. I want to share about comfort zones yet again. Comfort zones are places where greatness goes to die. Comfort zones are sometimes used as a crutch. Comfort zones are sometimes areas where we need some refinement. We need to check in with ourselves. And one of the things that we talked about in several previous weeks was that comfort zones can actually have different addresses, different locations. So you may actually move from one quote unquote comfort zone into another zone, and it actually does not serve you because both of them are places of comfort. And somebody challenged me on that and was like, what are you talking about? We're going to get into that in just a second. Well, last week we talked about reflecting forward as this practice that will help us. And we had a masterclass on it, and it was absolutely phenomenal. We had a good time with that. And I hope that you get a chance to go back and check that out. Some of the content is only for our members, but it's only $9 a month. So if you ever want to jump into membership, you can definitely do that. But somebody challenged me on that. They challenged me on how can there be different types of comfort zones? And I was like, oh, that's simple. That's simple. So when you look at the full-on definition of a comfort zone, they are internal areas that people regularly explore. Internal areas that people regularly explore and are influenced by our experiences. The comfort zones are influenced by our experiences, and we regularly explore them. Now, while they can be a safe space, right? So not everything about a comfort zone is bad. While these comfort zones can be safe spaces to retreat to, staying in them too long is the problem. Because staying in them too long is where we begin to limit our growth and stunt our potential. Comfort zones, they're internal, but there are different types. And there are several types, actually, of comfort zones. One of them that I wanted to touch on today is habits of action. There's a couple others, habits of thinking. There are role-based comfort zones as well. Relaxed, risk, and reckless zones, comfort, learning, and panic zones. But what I want to touch on today is habits of action. Habits of action. Habits of action can be a comfort zone. These are actions that people regularly do, such as eating certain foods, brushing their teeth. I hope this is a habit of action for you. Or yelling when something or a plan doesn't go how you originally thought it through, when things deviate, right? Habits of action. Habits of action. When I get on this street, I go at this speed, I get a ticket. I go on this street, I do this speed, I get another ticket. Habits of action can be a comfort zone. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Habits of action can be a comfort zone, but they can also be a consistency hack. You go to a restaurant. Somebody, you go to a restaurant and you say to yourself, I'm going to get what I got last time because it was so good. And I don't want to get anything that is not as good as that thing. So instead of trying anything new, I'm just going to stick with what I know. I'm talking to myself right now. habits of action can be a comfort zone. And a good friend of mine shares that his wife is way more explorative, right? So they get to a restaurant that they normally go to and she's going to try something new. He gets what he normally gets and he's happy with it until she starts to be like, ooh, this was a good choice. Oh man, this is good. She takes a bite and has to pause. And then he's sitting there like, hold up. I want to try that too. Because habits of action is a comfort zone. All right. And what did we say comfort zones are? Comfort zones are internal areas that people regularly explore and are influenced by their experiences. While they can be a safe space, right? Because you know what you're gonna get. I go to the Jamaican restaurant, I get a combo plate with jerk chicken and curry goat, rice and peas, cabbage, plantain. I know that I'm gonna be happy with that. Good friend of mine goes in there and says, "I'm gonna try your curry chicken roti," and I'm like, "That sounds good." And then he gets it. And while my plate is good and it's safe, and I know I'm gonna get something that's gonna satisfy me, I don't have the opportunity to grow. I don't realize the potential that trying something new will afford. And to be clear, if you try that new thing, it may bomb. It may not live up to the expectation of what your habits of action have yielded in the past. See, this is why I don't be trying new stuff, because I'm just going to stick with my regular. Because now I tried this over here and I don't like this at all. But you now have the benefit of experience. You have the currency of having done that thing, and now you're a part of a different group. A group that can say, I tried it multiple ways. I visited this place. I visited that place. I went down that road or that path. And I can tell you that for me, it doesn't work. For me, it's not my thing. For me, I don't like it. Instead of staying in a space where you're saying, I don't think I'll like it, or better yet, I'm comfortable here. This action has yielded good fruit for me in the past, and I'm just gonna ride it out as we go along. Listen, your comfort zone, one of the comfort zones, we'll talk about habits of thinking. We'll talk about the different roles, relaxed, risk, reckless. We'll talk about the zones of comfort, learning, and panic. We'll talk about those. But today, I want to talk about habits of action. These are regular actions that people do, such as eating certain foods, brushing their teeth, or yelling when something doesn't go as planned. But these are regular actions that we do. They're kind of our knee jerk. These are our default. And I want you, even as we dive in today, I'm going to play the intro in just a second. I want you to type in the chat or comment below or write down some habits of action that you regularly do. Let's dive in. Man, listen, I am so glad that you are here with us today. We have 9 of you hanging out with us on the live. We got 2 thumbs up already. My name is Kirk Nugent. I get to serve as your host for this wild ride called The Coaching Corner every Wednesday at noon in the Central Time Zone, which is the Lord's time zone. We've been under this theme of comfort zones, and we talked about a little bit of that today. In fact, we're looking at a particular comfort zone called habits of action. Listen, the Coaching Corner is a space where coaches, authors, consultants, particularly content creators, content entrepreneurs can come aside, live show hosts, live streamers, come aside for a moment into the Coaching Corner. All right. You've been in the fight all week. You've been, putting in those jabs, putting in that work. You've been in the ring, and the ref has done some good calls and some not so good calls. Some things have gone your way. Some things haven't quite gone your way. You're getting a moment. The bell has rung. They gave you that three-legged stool to sit on in the corner. Somebody's working on your shoulders. Somebody's, massaging you a little bit. Somebody's taping up that cut over your eye. And your coach is whispering in your ear. That's me. And I'm simply sharing with you, you can make it. I'm simply sharing with you, you've been doing a great job. I'm simply sharing with you, there are some minor tweaks that we need to make before you go back into the fight. And that's what the Coaching Corner is all about. The Workers Warehouse fam is here. I see several of you in the chat. I'm going to grab your comments in just a second. But I want to welcome those of you who may be coming in for the first time. Maybe you're catching this on replay. I want to thank you for your time and attention at the Coaching Corner. And if you have questions, my moderators are going to tell you how to do that in just a second. Q: gets your question seen. Everything else is a comment. But man, let me tell you, the Coaching Corner, this needs to be part of your regular diet for your week, because the Coaching Corner is where we get to pull aside, assess, be poured back into, and hear perspective on what you're doing so that you can improve, so that you can innovate, so that you can get to the next level. Now, let's see what we have in terms of comments. Well. Now, my first comment is from Tracy, and I actually just got off a coaching call with her. So she's getting a double portion of the Coaching Corner. She says, hey, Kirk and everyone. Darius O'Kane is with us today. Thank you so much, Darius O'Kane, for being with us. Good afternoon to you as well. Simply Cup Adventures of Northern California says, cheers. Thank you, Kirk. Thank you too, Sippy Cup. I appreciate you coming through and hanging out with us today. Don't know what you're thanking me for, but I always want to just say a word of welcome to those who are coming through. 604-852 Cafe is with us today as well. Coming all the way in from Canada, I want to say good morning to you as well. Shira Renee, becoming another regular. I love it. I love to see you in the chat, Shira. We're hoping that you're going to join us in the Workers Warehouse as well. Greetings, family from Toronto. We got two T-Dot people up in the place today. Thank you so much, Dr. Vibe Show, for coming and hanging out. Always good to have you. Always good to have you. OTN Podcast is with us today. Salute to the God in the squad. And he's just saluting some of our moderators as well. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah. I remember the Dr. Vibe Show from Canada. Love to see it. Love to see it. Good to have Vancouver and Toronto in the house. I love that. Tracy shares, I had a great coaching session with Kirk earlier. I'm properly excited about my plans for content creation for next year. Let's go, Tracy. Super excited for you as well. Excited for all that we're going to be able to accomplish. And I'm just so excited to have you as a member of the Workers Warehouse. Yeah, man, listen, this serious Jamaican food right there, man. I don't play around. I had a plate yesterday. If I can be honest, my wife's parents are in town this week, and man, it has been fried dumpling, it has been ackee and saltfish, it has been boiled banana, cassava, yaman banana. Listen, it has been a lot of good food this week, and you are correct. It ain't no joke. It's real Jamaican food, and we're excited about it. And I love this. We're just kind of checking in with everybody. Tracy's saying, I hope everybody's doing well today, and I see several of you are responding. Dr. Vibe says, after I pray and meditate in the morning, I decide one thing that I'm going to do for myself and one thing I can do to serve someone else. That's a really great practice, Dr. Vibe, and I'm excited for you. Sippy Cup says, we're talking comfort zones and how we may be breaking away a bit from our comfort zones. I love to see it. You know what I didn't see in the chat there just now? I did not see any of you talk about some of your habits habits of action, your actions that you regularly do, kind of like eating a certain type of food, your morning routine. Oh, maybe Dr. Vibe Show actually shared what is some of his habits of action. This is one that he shared. So I take that back. You did actually share your habits of action, but I'd love to hear some of your other habits of actions. Comfort zones are not inherently bad, but if we stay in them too long, they limit growth and potential. And the thing that I love to say to mentees whenever I get the chance to is that you got to collect experiences like a college rookie Michael Jordan playing card, right? I mean, you just got to collect them because they're worth their weight in gold. When you have the experience of having done a certain thing or going to a certain place or experiencing a particular environment or culture or activity, you get to put yourself in a category all of its own. You want to collect experiences. And one of the major things that the comfort zone we are dealing with today, habits of action, robs us of is experiences. Experiences that may actually work out, in some instances may work out better or worse or maybe indifferent. You just now have the ability to say, I've had this experience and it has served me well. Let me see what we got in the chat here. Let's go to our comment scene so I can make this a little more prominent. Kirk, I would like to thank you for making my transition from StreamYard to EVMux. Round of applause. I love to hear this stuff. Love to see this kind of activity whenever we have people who are making the transition. And if my content could be a catalyst for that, I absolutely love that. I see Tracy is responding to Dr. Bashara, but I don't have a comment from Doc Bashara. Is he here with us today? She's just saying, I don't see you in the chat. Good. I see that. I don't see you in the chat, but I see you on Kirk's screen. Hope you are well. Okay. Another habit of action is don't be afraid to ask questions. So let me ask real quick, Dr. Vibe, what is the action there? Is the action, the habit of action, let me go back. The habit of action that you're probably referring to is the habit of not asking questions. And getting out of the comfort zone would be to ask the questions. Don't be afraid to ask the questions. But the habit of action would be that, I just wait for others to ask the question. You see, that's now a habit. Or I just keep listening to see if my question will be answered. That becomes the habit. But breaking the habit and maybe even just adding to your habits of action, you see what I just did there? Adding to your habit of action, one of the things could be, in certain scenarios, I will list my questions. Maybe I'll wait a little bit to see if any of them I can cross off because they've been asked by someone else or answered by the content that's being shared. But I will eventually ask I will make a habit of asking all my questions before the session is done, before the lecture is over, before this experience has closed, before the conversation has concluded. You make sure that you ask your questions. See, this is what I mean when I talk about habits of action and how have we possibly, maybe unintentionally, been limiting ourselves. Maybe sometimes limiting ourselves can be a good thing too. So that's what I wanted to share there. And let me see what we got. Let me see what we got here. No, you know what it was? You know what it was, Tracy? It was, I had a comment from last week's show from probably Doc Bashara. And when I went to the comment scene, it automatically pulled back up his comment. And even though that he's not here with us today, but his comment from last week was there. So I think that's probably what happened. So you didn't imagine it. You saw it, but I didn't, it didn't click until you actually put that up there. Kirk, I'm going to do my first EV Mux live broadcast by the end of this week. Let's go. That's what the Coaching Corner is all about as well. We want to encourage people who are taking a step out of their comfort zone. Now, why is this out of his comfort zone? Because he says this is his first live show with EV Mux. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean this is his first live show, period, but we celebrate that too. But this is his first live show with EV Mux, and we celebrate that because your normative behavior, your habit of action thus far, where live streaming is concerned, has all been in StreamYard. And so you're breaking that now. And let me be clear. I hate to say this because I want to encourage you, but I have to make sure that you understand the reality of the situation. Not every time you step outside of your comfort zone is it going to be a positive one. Now, I'm hoping that you have a smooth show, that it's flawless. I hope that it's going to just go very well for you. But the truth is, whenever you do something different, it's something different. and we get to choose what lens we view that difference through. And so I'm excited for you, Doc Vibe, for this. I'm excited for you for this because it's gonna be amazing. And I hope that you come back and share with us how it went. Wasn't me going crazy then. Not this time anyway. Definitely. I am learning from you how to go live for YouTube, something I have been scared of in the past. So that is changing a habit. Let's go. Everything has been so status quo, make a video, upload, and now pivot to live. And I'm going to tell you right now, Sippy Cup Adventures of Northern California, your live stream is your digital storefront. Listen, produced content is great. How I like to describe live content is that your live stream, your live show is the continuation of a conversation you started with your content. So two things are at play here. Number one, you want to ensure that you're continuing the conversation you started with your content by having a live stream. Now, for those that are in a totally different category than my friends at Sippy Cup Adventures of Northern California, you may only do live and you don't create content, you see. So they're in a position where they create content, they produce videos, but they don't go live, and they're about to do the live part. Well, whereas some of you are in the position where you only create live streams, live shows, and you don't create content. And here's what I want to say to you. If you only create live shows, you're starting the conversation in the middle. And you're not leveraging the full power of live streaming and having a live show because you do not have produced content. Your live stream is a continuation of a conversation you started with your content. So here's a perfect example. I put out a video this past Sunday. It was on the 5 new features of EV Mux. Now today I'm live for the Coaching Corner. What is one of the comments that come in from Dr. Vibe? Thank you for the tutorials on EV Mux. It's a continuation of the conversation I started with my content. We had a previous live show where we talked about comfort zones and reflecting forward, and comfort zones having different addresses, and comfort zones being the space where greatness goes to die. Now today we're continuing that conversation with this live show, because your live show is the continuation of conversation you started with your content. And either camp you find yourself in, I only do live, I only do produced, I don't really want to try live, I don't really want to do produced. Either camp you find yourself in becomes, are you ready? A habit of action. And that's a comfort zone. And you gotta break out of it, because staying too long in any comfort zone can limit growth and potential. Oh my, I'm having too much of a good time now. I'm having too much of a good time, but this is what I love to hear. Sippy Cup Adventure says, I'm taking the leap. I'm taking the leap, pivoting from my niche just to pivot or in addition to. I love it. I love it. And I'm so excited that you're with us today, Sippy Cup Adventures, because this is going to be good for everybody to kind of take this journey with you. So I personally am going to be following along to see how these live shows go. I wonder if you would be so bold as to let us know what's the date of your first live stream. So, Dr. Vibe has already shared with us he's going to go live before the end of the week. Today's Wednesday, so he's only got a couple of days to do it. But I wonder if you'd be so bold as to just say, hey, look, January 10, I'm going to go live, Sippy Cup. Or maybe it's December 23rd. I don't know what your date is, but if you'd be so bold as to just share with us what that date is, several of us can support you. Several of us can come around you and give you that encouragement that you need, because in my opinion, that's what the Coaching Corner is all about. Oh man, I see some of your comments coming in. I love these. Kirk, by the way, if you're ever in Toronto, I got you for Jamaican food and Jamaican restaurants. Toronto has some really great, authentic Jamaican food. I like stepping out of my comfort zone. It tells me where I stand and where I need to go. Come on. And do you know, Dr. Vibe? Here it is. Do you know, Dr. Vibe, that you can create a habit of action that is getting uncomfortable? Oh gosh, don't miss it, fam. Don't miss it. One of your habits of action, if you do it more often enough, can be, I put myself in uncomfortable situations. I test the waters. I am constantly looking to go against what my default settings are to see if that indeed is this best setting for me. You can make getting uncomfortable a habit of action. And that is a great comfort zone to exist in. We're making it circular, but I hope that it's making sense for many of you. Yeah, you know that I will tell you how that first live goes with EV Mux. I know you will, and I'm excited about it. Darius O'Kane says, so happy for you, brother. Blessings on your EV Mux journey. Whoa. My sister from another mister is in the chat today. I got to drop some bombs. Where is my sound effects? Let's get this. No, that's the X-Files. Let's get this going. We're clapping already. Here's DJ air horn. Let's get the listen. Oh, Lenita Hostin is in the building. Family. I always like to make sure you guys know the people that I follow so that you can check them out as well. Lenita Hostin is a content creator, but she's a public speaker coach as well. Actually, primarily a public speaker, and then additionally a public speaker coach, helping people to really leverage the power of communication, leverage the power of speaking. And I'm excited that she's in the chat with us today. And she said, Kirk, that's good. That is good. And I'm excited that she's with us today, man. Click that avatar, check out her channel, but more importantly, make sure you follow her on LinkedIn. She does a weekly, I don't know if it's weekly, Lenita, you can maybe share, but she does a regular show that I think is absolutely awesome. And I'd love for you guys to be able to get exposed to her. In fact, Lenita, we're going to have to do something together. We got to get you to come into the Workers Warehouse to talk to my people or something. I'll message you on that. I love seeing these comments. Dr. Vibe is telling Sippy Cup that you've got this. That's it. Kirk, the EV Mux demo helped clear up my fog on the dynamic grid. Now I have got to start creating content. Let's go. You see what I did there? It's a continuation of a conversation you started with your content. And that's why I love live streaming. 'Cause now you're able to come and tell me that this hit, or you can come back and be like, man, I really feel like if you had added this or this or this, it would have really kind of got me across the line. Either types of feedback is helpful, or maybe there's something that wasn't clear. And not necessarily that the video needs to be re-edited or anything like that, but it's maybe there's just some additional question that the video sparked for you, and then we can have that conversation because now we're live, right? In the video, I'm not live, so I put the video out. You guys get a chance to consume the video and watch the video and learn from the video and harness the value from the video. But now that I'm live, now is when you can come back and be like, hey, so I saw that you did this, but what about this? So for both you, Dr. Vibe, and anybody else that checked out that video from this past Sunday, I'd love for you to be able to share if you have any questions around those things. Darius O'Kane, I can't thank you enough for being here. Oh, moderator salute. We got Tracy in the building. We got Nea in the building. Excited to have you. Yeah, have to do some recorded events first to hype up my first real live. I'm loving it. But I would love to be able for you to be able to come back, Sippy Cup, and let us know when your first live is going to be. I love the term habits of action. Come on. You see, there's nothing wrong with understanding the fuller definition of a thing. All right. Understanding the fuller definition of a thing can sometimes help us to have vocabulary to be able to share with folks what you're excited about. Day by Day is here, says picking back up my live stream this Friday night, debating between vertical and landscape live. We'll be using Ecamm. Listen, Day by Day, I would, if you haven't tried a vertical, right? Let's get all the way out of that comfort zone and try vertical. I think vertical, especially if you're going to do a multi-stream with Ecamm Live, maybe say to YouTube and to Instagram. I am trying to do a vertical live at least once a week now because there's just an organic thing that happens on YouTube where you're in the shorts feed with your live stream, and it's just such an organic hack. Like, it's just, man, it's unfair the advantage that you have when you're able to stream on YouTube vertical and get in that shorts feed, and then you have a lot of people coming through to your live, and maybe they've just seen you for the first time, but they're getting a chance to recognize the value that you provide. So Day by Day, I don't know exactly what your content is about, but I would challenge you to do a vertical live stream, especially since you're using Ecamm, and I already know Ecamm does vertical really good. So that's going to be great. The conversation continues. My first live is incumbent on a date that has yet to be determined for an event that I will be talking about. Once the event date is announced, I'll go live. All right. So I see your point. You have there is a triggering event that must happen before you can actually schedule your live, and that's fine. But I would love if you could come back, even if you comment in the chat underneath this particular video. I would love for you to be able to come back and say, hey guys, this is the event has happened. Now I know the date, so now here is the day I'm actually going to go live, so that some of us can come in and check you out and support you, because I think that this is what community is all about. I thank you for being willing to share with us some of the details around that as well. This is helpful for somebody. Somebody's watching right now and they're saying, dang, all these people are going to go ahead and get live. That's crazy. I want to leverage the power of live streaming too. And that FOMO is good FOMO. All right. BTS Podcast with Nikki Nicole says, hey, Kirk, just tapping in to support. How are you? I'm doing good. Thank you so much for asking. Let me tell you, just finished up a conference this week. And listen, Nikki, I don't know if you know this. My moderators know this. Anytime somebody asks me, how am I doing? I'm going to go into a full answer because you've asked. And so now you get this answer. But I had just finished up a conference literally earlier today, right before my coaching session with Tracy. I just finished up a conference. It was Monday, Tuesday, and then today. And on Monday morning, I was one of the keynote speakers and just talked about specifically my topic was sharing Jesus in the digital space. And it was amazing. I mean, a packed room, auditorium seats, a couple thousand, but we were only using one level. And it was just electric for people to really get a chance to sink their teeth in some of the concepts that I was sharing around, answering a question, being consistent, being vulnerable, the equation that I've come up with for content, purpose, value, and call to action. And then I did a demo of the video cart, and some of you have seen the video cart tour video on my YouTube channel. Well, I physically brought that video cart to the stage and demoed it with a volunteer, and people's minds were blown. The fact that we could roll that cart around and do so many different things, it was amazing. So thank you so much for asking the question. I'm doing well. I'm excited this week. I was unable to do the what's it called, the morning motivation yesterday, hoping to do it tomorrow. just because just of the conference, there was too much going on. That's good water. So definitely excited to be able to share some of that with you. And I thank you for the question. I thank you for the question. I have been working on the behind the scenes countdown that you do, and I am stuck. Oh, it sounds like we got a question. So give me a little more on that, and I'll listen. I may share my screen, and we can figure out some stuff. We can see if we can get you across the line today. We'll figure out if we can get you across the line today. All right. I see a question from Dr. Vibe. I've started a question from BTS Podcast. Let me see what else we got. Gios Amigos says, first time on your live. Thank you so much for being here. We want to say a word of welcome to you. I'm certain my moderators are going to, yep, there it is. Many Scenes GB, that's one of my moderators. Anybody you see with a wrench, they're going to be welcoming you. Gios Amigos. Thank you so much, friend, for being with us today. Super excited about that. Sippy Cup says exactly. And then they came back and said, will do. So I'm excited about this. We're going to be able to learn when this first live is, and we'll be going from there. Welcome to your first live. That's good. Yes, I want to hear the answer. LOL. The answer. Yes. Okay, I shared the answer in terms of how am I doing. So I'm glad that you asked, and it allows me the opportunity to really, in-depth share. Okay. Gios Amigos, today, one of the things we're talking about, I don't know how long you've been with us during our live show today, but the Coaching Corner is a space where we just come together and talk about what it is we're doing from a content perspective. Maybe you're a live show host. The people that subscribe to this channel know that I give you the step-by-step guides and practical tutorials for the do-it-yourself video creator that learns visually. If you want to grow and engage an audience, if you want to funnel clients to your business, if you want to establish yourself as a thought leader in your space, live streaming, online video, content creation is for you. And on this channel, we give you the resources to be able to do just that. And if you are somebody who's like, I have the value, but I don't necessarily want to even try to figure out the technical pieces of getting this done, that's another reason why this channel exists, because that's what I do. Many clients, many podcasts that I produce behind the scenes, and helping people to really get their message out there. So I'm excited that you're with us today. I don't know what brought you to the channel originally, but we're excited that you're with us today. Oh, okay. Congratulations on the keynote speaker. I would love to have you as a keynote at my next event in 2026. Woo! Say less. We can figure it out. Let's put pen to paper and figure out some details. I absolutely, if you can't tell, I love to speak. So absolutely would love that. My live to produced ratio is 70-30, as I prefer to sell myself. So I like it. That's your habit of action. I like it. Your habit of action is that I usually do 70% live, 30% produced. Am I saying that right? Or is it the other way around? But because you said live to produced and you had 70-30. So 70% live, it sounds like, and then 30% produced. And listen, for a lot of us, live is a cheat code. Because when you go live, you have the ability to really say some things that you had no intention, you had no plan. It's not in your notes to say. So one of the things that I have as a habit of action is going live. And one of the ways that I know that serves me well is because going live, you cannot schedule everything that's going to happen. I didn't know that at Sippy Cup Adventures was going to come through today. I didn't know that Gios Amigos was going to come through today. That's something that happened organically. That's like opening your store and not knowing who's going to walk through that door today. And that's why I love live streaming. That's why I think it is the top form of content. because you can get every other piece of content, every other type of content from live streaming, but you cannot get live from any other piece of content. Okay. All right, let me pause there. My live to produce ratio. Okay, congratulations. Oh, Gios Amigos says, what? I didn't know you were a Christian. That's my channel, sharing Jesus in my own evangelical way through podcasting. That's awesome. Listen, I would dare say that there are so many different ways to do this kind of work, but absolutely. So Gios Amigos, I am actually a media pastor at my church, and we do, Dana, it's so good to see you. We do a lot of work, we have a number of people that join us on a regular basis. Every Saturday, you'll find me on my church's channel, welcoming everybody to the online worship experience. And we have a number of different podcasts. This is kind of sort of what I do. I really believe in it. On average, we have about 4,000 to 5,000 people that watch with us live every Saturday. So I would love to chat with you further about that, but that is absolutely who I am, what I do. I'm very unapologetic about it, but this channel isn't necessarily about that. But I infuse my faith in there wherever necessary and wherever possible. So I hope that that resonates with you. And I'm excited to find a fellow believer. That's been pretty cool. Okay, the countdown that you do before the stream starts with you in the background. Okay. And all right, let me star this, because I've got a couple of questions now that I've got to figure out a way to get back to. I've got 3 that I've starred. But Nikki, are you still using StreamYard? I believe you're using StreamYard if I'm not mistaken, but if you're using StreamYard, it's not possible to do that countdown with StreamYard. Yes, it's not possible to do that countdown with StreamYard. StreamYard doesn't do alpha channel or transparent video. That you can do transparent overlays, but you can't do transparent video. And so one of the things that I do, I use either OBS or Ecamm with StreamYard to be able to get that same countdown, or I just record the countdown ahead of time with me moving around behind the counter, and then I upload that video into StreamYard, and I use that video as my countdown. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that answers the question. But thank you so much for sharing that with us today. We got some stuff. Dana Bent, I have not seen you in a while. Dana, I hope that you're doing well. I would love to chat with you. I don't know. Are you still with StreamYard? All right. I don't know. Are you still with StreamYard, Dana? I don't know who's over there anymore. I've got to reach out to a couple of people and see what's going on. I got a chance to chat with Melanie Diane Howe about a couple of little things. But I can't remember the marketing manager's name now. I can see her face. I've had her on my show. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. Dang it. But anyway, I really need to reach out. I've got her number in my phone somewhere. So I definitely want to make sure that we get a chance to connect. Some things have changed since we last connected, and we're excited to have you here. Dana is a content creator and a somebody who's authority figure in this space of live streaming, somebody that I've done some work with when she was at StreamYard. I believe she's still there. I'm not certain. I don't know. But just want to make sure you guys know who she is and what our prior connection has been. Thank you so much for the comment about my camera. We're streaming in 4K today here on YouTube, and it comes through really, really clean and crisp and clear, and I'm glad for that. Thank you so much. Listen, nobody has commented on my glasses. Where's Tora when you need her? Just Tora always comments on my glasses. I've got some different glasses in today, so if you're seeing me clearly, you probably can see that the glasses probably need to be cleaned. That's awesome. Safika says, thought leader in your space. Brilliant. Absolutely. I believe that. I believe that firmly. I believe that content, online video, but even more specifically, live streaming drastically cuts down the time it takes for somebody to know, like, and trust you. And because when you do your thing live, Yeah. And I'm known for a saying, sippy cup adventures of North Carolina. No, Northern California to be specific. I have this saying that I usually say, and I might as well get it out of the way and say it right now, since you've touched on this. I believe your live stream is your digital storefront. There's no better way to go from busy and broke to peaceful and paid than for your ideal customer to see you do your thing live. And when they see you do it live, they don't need the taste test or the ad campaign. They're ready to book the business because they saw you do it live, and there's no way you could have prepared for their questions, no way you could have prepared for what they were bringing because it was live. And when you respond to someone live, you give them that value and that answer, there's a lot that they are just checking off in their mind. Oh, this is the person that I want to work with. This is the person that I'd love to have on my show. This is the person I need to bring to my executive committee to have them do a presentation. This is the person that I want as a consultant. This is the person that I want as a coach. This is the person who I want to patronize. I trust them because they told me what they don't know, and they told me what they do know, and they shared it in a way that they couldn't have prepared for because we were live. And that's why I absolutely love live streaming. Okay. Dana Betts is chatting with some folks in the chat there. On the next podcast says I was right. 70 live, 30 produced. That's pretty cool. Man, how do you get such good sound live streaming? So let's take a look. And I know I've got some other questions I need to get to. I was just trying to get to the bottom of this list. I don't know if I'm ever going to get there, but I'm going to come back to it. Connection Plus. I love your handle there. I'm going to get back to it in just a little bit. I know my moderators are saying what's up to you in the chat. Gios Amigo says, I'm a podcast and watch your videos for tech tips. I use Restream for a year. Just got Riverside for the AI help, the filler word removal, and magic clips. Restream. Riverside has been a game changer where those AI functionality and tools are concerned. And if you're not doing live, I do believe Restream really does capture the highest quality video for both you and your guest. I've not seen anybody else capture high quality video quite like Restream for you to be able to do whatever you want with it. And then they have this really rich AI based video editing platform. You can do it in text and every other thing. So that's pretty dope that you're using that. I'm actually in talk with Riverside currently to see if we can do some partnering on some content. So excited to see that. And yeah, I see that you make sure you check out howitallworks.com. Let me see if I can pull up that site real quick. Make sure you are checking out howitallworks.com. This is pointing the wrong way. Put this way. This is the website right here that you're seeing on screen. On that website, you'll see the latest content for all the different avenues that I have. So you've got 5 new features from EV Boom. That's the latest video. That's when that Dr. Vibe and Darius O'Kane and a couple others were talking about. Breathe podcast. This dropped Monday, and it is really great. So Gios Amigos, you talk about being faith-based. This is a faith-based podcast that I get a chance to not only co-host but produce for a media ministry here locally in Huntsville, Alabama. So would love for you to check that out. I always have the latest and greatest of whatever it is I'm doing. I have a coaching line of videos on my channel, and this is the latest from that, the 40 plus advantage on YouTube. You're in the 40 plus category and you're wondering whether or not I should do this YouTube thing. You want to make sure you check out that video. And then you have my creator motivation video podcast. We call it Morning Motivation, and it drops on Wednesday mornings at 6:30 a.m. So this is today's video with a quote from Maya Angelou that says, "This is a wonderful day. I haven't seen this one before." I hope that you get a chance to check that thing out. So let me see what else we got here. Gios Amigos, thank you so much. I'm trying to find something else that can help with filler words, maybe even target certain phrases. All right, let me come back to that. Gios, if you are using editing software, I use CapCut for filler and gaps and auto removal. That's pretty cool. I may change to EV BTS says I am using StreamYard. So you answered my question, but I might change to EV Mux does have the ability to literally directly use those kinds of countdown clocks where you can have the video on top and it's transparent. So I will, let me see something. I want to say, my good friend Luria Petrucci put out some graphics for graphics. She put out some graphics. I think these. So here, all right, let's go here. Okay, so she put out some graphics. And here, so let me go to the screen. So yeah, she put out these graphics for EV Mux, and so these all work in EV Mux. I was looking to see if she had the countdown there, but yeah, you see that she'll say Ecamm Live. Let me get my mouse going here so you can kind of see a little bit here. So she'll say, animated floating heart overlays for OBS, Ecamm Live, vMix, and EV Mux. Notice she does not say StreamYard because each StreamYard doesn't have that functionality, y'all. So that's why I wanted to show this to you, BTS podcast with Nikki Nicole. This is why I want to show. Look at this one. A confused math meme animated overlay for OBS, Ecamm Live, vMix, and EV Mux. This EV Mux actually does work with a lot of these kinds of things, and I want to just go ahead and drop this link in the chat because I know that several of you are probably looking at the screen and are like, hold up, like those joints say free, and you are correct, they are saying free. So I want to make sure you guys get a chance to take advantage of that. Host plus screen, boom. So yeah, these rising 3D falling animated balloons, and you could easily take the countdown clock kind of a scenario and add that to EV Mux as well. You can see here she's got a trivia, and that's a counter, and she's got according to and you can see what all is there. So definitely check that out at your own pace and in your own time. But Luria Petrucci is a good friend. Again, somebody else who's really laser focused on this live streaming space and looking to resource streamers with really cool, engaging tools and graphics. And so definitely, I put the link in the chat. Hopefully you guys can check that out. All right. This is pretty cool. A program. All right. Very cool glasses. Come on. I was waiting for the glasses comment. Very cool glasses. Very cool glasses. Dr. Vibe shows. Dana, you are missed. You are missed. I tread softly because I wanted her to kind of update us, but I definitely miss what you do, what you were doing at StreamYard when you were there. That's nice to hear. I miss everyone. Good to see you, Dr. Vibe show. Cool. Absolutely. I love to see it. So Dana shares, no, I am not with StreamYard anymore. Joanne Watt was one, but I think wasn't her. It was somebody, it was another name. Don't know why I'm drawing a blank on this, but it was another name. I remember Joanne very well. I worked with her. She was actually maybe way earlier on. She was actually one of my direct point of contacts for the content I was creating for StreamYard, but it wasn't Joanne Watt. It was, short. She's short. She's very short. That's all I can say. We hung out at Social Media Marketing World multiple nights. I don't know how she's from Wichita, I think. She is, anyway, I've had her on my show. I'm embarrassed that I don't remember her name. But anyway, glad that you're here with us today. I'd love to be able to interview you. Maybe we can drop a DM. Maybe you can hit me on the email address, info@howitallworks.com. I'd love to be able to kind of chat it up with you, Dana. Just kind of talk through some of the things pertaining to StreamYard. I still have a large StreamYard audience on my channel. So, but I see that you're sharing that she's no longer with StreamYard either. Brian Jones is on the live with us today. Thank you so much for being here, man. Greetings to you. Shira Renee says, I'm listening to you and testing out EV Mux. This may be the new wave, Kirk. Hey, listen, I'm not saying that everybody should jump ship. I'm just saying, listen to me. I'm saying your habits of action, right, can be a comfort zone. And what are habits of action? And for those that are coming in brand new, this is what we've been talking about the whole time. So this is not off topic. We've been talking about comfort zones for the last couple months on the Coaching Corner. And habits of action are a type of comfort zone. These are actions that people regularly do. And one of them in the streaming world is that we stick with one software. One of the things I said very early on my channel is that while I have my go-to software, I'm using Ecamm Live right now to do this stream. I have my go-to, but I have my toe in all the worlds. I know exactly what Restream is dropping. I know exactly what EVMux is doing. I know exactly the product path of what StreamYard has been pushing. I know what Ecamm is coming to market with because I stay in these ecosystems. I stay in these Facebook groups. I stay in these places because I want my channel to be a place where all of those people can be served. So while I'm not saying everybody should have all the platforms, for what I do, I must. And one of the things I've recognized, especially from some of my longtime followers, I had a consult session with somebody last week who's making the transition from StreamYard to another platform. It's not none of the ones that we regularly talk about, but I was saying to her, well, better yet, she said to me, I probably should have been testing the water to see what other platforms are doing long ago because I stayed with StreamYard too long. And this is one of those habits of action that can limit growth and potential. Because what are comfort zones? Comfort zones are internal areas that people regularly explore and are influenced by their experiences. But if you don't have a wide breadth of experiences, then your comfort zones are also limited. While these comfort zones can be safe spaces, right? If you go to the restaurant, you know you're going to get that plate of food. That plate of food's going to hit. That plate of food's going to satisfy you. That's a good thing. That's a good safe space to retreat to. But staying in those comfort zones too long can limit growth and potential. I've been talking about questions that I want to make sure that I get to, and I have not done that. So I'm going to make sure that I do that here just a minute. Riverside is very basic with live streaming. Yes, I do not recommend Riverside for live streaming at all, Gios Amigos. That's why I said for content and recording, it's been good. But live streaming, no. I liked Restream layout, but watched your latest EVMux video and I liked it. Hey, and what I'll say is this: if any of you are thinking about giving EVMux a try, you can get a free trial. And you can get a free trial by using this link. LIV/EVMux. Let's get that there. Let me just make sure it's spelled right. Good. Whoa. Let me get rid of this comment. Let's go to my comment screen and let's put up this one while we do their one. Oh, thank you so much, David Harvey, for the super chat. Much support to all the creators joining today's stream. Thank you so much, David Harvey, for the super chat. I truly appreciate that. Wow, it's been a minute since I caught up with the living legend that is the mighty Kirk Nugent. Thank you so much, Demolition News. It's always good to be here. Yes, I'd love to watch your faith-based content, maybe even have you as a guest. I'd love to be a guest. I generally don't turn that down. Dana says, watching you in 4K, insane quality. Thank you so much. I love to hear this. It defaulted to 1080p, but I could change it to 4K on YouTube. Maybe my internet can't handle it. And that's why 1080p was default. Hey, it is. But I love it. Hoping you guys got a chance to check out this page from Loria Petrucci. I see your question here. Several questions are coming in. I need to get back to my questions. So let me do that right now. OTN says very dope. BTS says thanks so much. Dana Betts, Julie Riley, that's it. Julie, my God, I don't know how I messed that up so bad. She says, yeah, Julie's short. Yeah, we have so much to catch up on. I would love to chat it up with you. So yes, gotta have the sound effects. The sound effects are an entire cheat code. Okay, let's go to my questions now. All right. So I've been working behind the scenes, countdown. So yes, I hope that I got this one answered for you, Nikki Nicole, because you definitely want to ensure that you're utilizing a platform. You can hack StreamYard to make it work, but you are going to have to either do a video and upload the video, or you're going to have to use a virtual camera from something like Ecamm or vMix or OBS and then you can do the effect in that platform and use the virtual camera to show it in StreamYard during your live show. It's a lot more work, technical, but it does work. And I did that for quite a while when StreamYard was my primary platform. So just wanted to make sure we get that out of the way. Now, Dr. Vibe Show says, could you define dynamic versus pro scenes in EVMux? Very good question. let's go to EVMux and let's take a look at it. We're gonna go over today. I know that we normally end at the hour mark. We're right at that hour mark right now, but we're gonna go over today because I've got a number of questions, and I am going to answer every one of them. I'm gonna answer every one of them before we get gone today. So hopefully you've got some time. You can rock with me. If you have a question in the chat, we're gonna try and get to it. So this is EVMux. This is EVMux. I'm going to take my QR code off of the screen for just a second so that so you can actually see the whole thing. All right. So this is EVMux. All right. So I have pro scenes here and I have a dynamic scene here. The dynamic scene, Dr. Vibe, is kind of it's basically the same kind of scenario as StreamYard. You don't have to do any of the pro scene stuff. The dynamic scene basically mimics what you would get from StreamYard or Restream or OneStream Live. It has these layouts across the bottom, and it just works. Let's say I have okay. Let me add a camera, let's add a camera, add. All right, so now I have my other two cameras here. Let's say I have this format here. I'm gonna remove one. Let me put let's do the fill like that. I can put this overlay, right? I can put that right on top, just like how you would in StreamYard. You have your overlays, I can show this one, I can show this one. I have my layouts here across the bottom. I don't really need to go through the scenes. I am just using the dynamic scene because the dynamic scene is just gonna kind of do all the different things with me. So I can take this overlay off. I can remove this other camera from the scene, put this overlay on. Now you see what that looks like. So this is what the dynamic scene is for. It's meant to mimic what everybody's used to while giving you a ton of additional functionality with pro scenes. What I like to do is to create a pro scene and add the dynamic grid to it so that I'm getting the best of both worlds. So you can actually have that as well. Another thing that can be done, let me remove this one. Let me add this one back. And in fact, I'm going to go to the wide, and now I'm going to be able to, let's add an overlay. Let's add this one. So now I've added this overlay. Now you see this overlay was actually designed for StreamYard, but it works perfectly inside of EVMux. And see, I can move my cameras from back and forth because this is exactly what the dynamic scene is meant to do. So I'm stopping because I want to make sure you understand this is dynamic scene. So the difference, let me go back to my comment scene here. So you said, could you define dynamic versus pro scene? So we've defined dynamic by showing this is what dynamic does. It is essentially the same kind of scenario. It would be the difference in StreamYard terms. The dynamic scene would be your normal layouts. You have them all across the bottom there. And then, what is this? Okay. Yeah. So they have pro scenes here. So this, you see how they have this plus sign? You notice that in StreamYard, you kind of have the same thing. All right. You kind of have the same thing in StreamYard. Let's just go to it. Right. Like, why not? Let's just go. Yes. And yes. And yes. And let's do that. So we go into StreamYard. Let's just take a look at it so you can see that here as well. So here we are to save the day. We're in StreamYard. I'm adding my camera. Now, you know the whole, what is this? Okay, let's go to my default. So I was like, what happened to my stuff? So we have this overlay here, and I can click here and turn off my names and stuff and all that other good stuff. All right, so this is StreamYard. You're used to this. Let me add this overlay instead so that you can kind of see what this looks like. Okay, so you're used to this. This is what StreamYard looks like. Now, you remember this plus button here where it says new layout? And you can kind of design what is on the screen with the custom layouts feature in StreamYard. That is what pro scenes are. That's what pro scenes are. That's what I would say pro scenes are the equivalent of. Yeah. in EVMux. So when I go to EVMux and I click on this plus sign that says add scene, I get a blank scene, right? I can use a template, which StreamYard does not have, but I can now say empty scene, hit create, and now I have a blank screen. And this blank screen, I can design anything I want on this scene, similar to what you would have in StreamYard with your custom layouts. You can hit here and say, I want to do a new custom layout. And then of course, you have some, I have a video background, but you can add a camera and different things. You only have a couple of options in StreamYard, whereas in EVMux, you can hit add new layer and all of these out. You can add a dynamic grid, you can do text, you can do animation caption, you can do AI generated images, you can do media files, right? So what's a media file? It's just the stuff that you've uploaded to this system. You can do a slideshow. I've used that before. It's really dope. When I'm doing my announcements and my news stuff, you can do a web source, like if you had those Streamlabs widgets and things where it's like doing, anytime somebody subscribes to your channel, it does a little pop up on the screen. You can do a web source. You can add your camera, screen share, all the things that you normally would add. You can also go into apps and widgets. And this is a whole marketplace of additional apps that they have that you can add to your screen. I mean, they've got the chat box, which shows the comments. You can do an RSS feed ticker and it pulls from like CNN and Fox and CNBC. It's crazy stuff, but you can also do your own RSS ticker. So there's a number of things here that you can pull in to your custom scene, but the custom scene, as was mentioned, is custom. So it's totally up to you what you use that for and how you use it. So I'm actually closing out of EVMux now. Hopefully we were able to answer that question. We were able to answer that question. So I'm gonna uncheck that and go down to my comments and make sure I haven't missed anything. Hey, Kevin Cox is on the live. Definitely. I saw this emails. I'm going to get that there. I'm going to get on that. Kevin Cox, thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for telling people to hit the like button. Oh, Florence is with us. Moderator salute. Thank you so much for being with us today. Yes, just like, thanks for the reminder. Cool. Ecamm is Mac only, and I believe EVMux is browser based. That is correct. It is correct. Is EVMux Mac only? So Kevin answered your correct question. Tracy, thank you so much. I'm just gonna star them and go back to my question list. All right. So Connection said, man, how do you get such good sound live streaming? So one of the things that I do, let me go back to this screen here, is I have the Rodecaster Pro. Let's go to my BTS shot, right? So this is it. Connection Plus. I hope you're still with me. But here you're actually getting a chance to see my whole setup, and you can see I have a bunch of boxes here. I've got a bunch of Amazon product videos that I need to do after our live show today. So I've got a bunch of boxes here on the side, but this is the Rodecaster Pro. It's the first version. I have the second version, but not here in this studio. So hopefully that's meaningful to you. Secondly, I have this mic, which is the MV7X connected XLR into mic port number 2. And so if I go to top down, let's go to top down. Where is it? That one. So mic port number 2. Now that's not going to work. No, it's not going to work. But I was hoping I could actually showcase what that looks like there. But anyway, let me go back to the BTS. So mic number 2 is what it's plugged into. Mic number 2, I have it set to dynamic, so that actually works best with this mic. I do have some audio processing turned on, phantom power turned on. I've got some high pass filter, some noise gate, de-esser. There's some compressor. They've got a Apex feature there as well. I've got some of that turned on, and I've got it dialed in. Actually have gone in and made some tweaks to ensure that I'm getting the best sound quality that I can get out of this microphone. But a lot of it, I want to say, to your question, to your comment, Connection Plus, is that I have gone through and tested many mics. So one of the things I tell my coaching clients is, have about $350. And you take your time to save up to it, right? Use whatever mic you have currently, but have about $350 and save towards buying a mic, testing a mic, package that mic back up, send that mic back. So I'm not saying buy multiple mics and keep them. I'm saying test mics, record on it, stream with it, listen to what your voice sounds like on that mic. And once you've decided that you like one over the other, then you go and grab that mic. If you can go into a place like a Guitar Center or maybe a Best Buy, I don't know what other places have some of these kinds of mics for you to be able to go in and listen to what your voice sounds like. But that's one of the things that you do. I have some quote unquote better mics than this mic, but I love my voice on this mic. And so that's the mic that I stuck with. I have a lot of mics actually, but this one, the MV7X, is one that I constantly keep going back to. And I hope that is helpful for you. And I hope that answers your question. Gios Amigo says, I've been trying to find something else that can help with filler words, maybe even target certain phrases. One of the things that I wanted to understand, Gios Amigos, is it sounds like you're trying to really get everything out of one platform, right? You're trying to get you're trying to get your podcast stuff, and you have the AI clips and the editing from Riverside, and you have those filler words and things. And I know that Tracy responded saying that CapCut can do some of that editing for you. They've got some functionality built in, but one of the things I wanted to kind of understand a little bit better from you is like, what are you, if you're looking to go into the different areas, one of the, you sometimes it's going to be difficult to get everything right, the best of everything from one platform. It's just unfortunate that as the old saying goes, jack of all trades, master of none. Well, they're master of something, but what are they master of? So one of the things I always like to share with folks is, you have these different streaming platforms, and they all have their strengths and weaknesses. They all do. You just got to know what those things are. And then I just use them like a toolbox. Now, I'm not saying you should have like multiple platforms or subscriptions, but I think you can realistically have one or two depending on what your needs are, because I don't think you're going to be able to meet everything with one platform. So like you said, Riverside does a really great job of some of the AI functionality and features they have. Filler words and ahs, ums that they can edit out. And then of course you get those clips, magic clips, kind of like Opus. And then you also have editing with a text editor, almost like Descript. Well, Descript is its own program by itself. It does a very specific thing. And so Riverside has incorporated a portion of what Descript does, but it is not Descript. You see what I'm saying in terms of what is their main thing? Well, Riverside's number one thing was podcasting and being able to bring in a guest, record locally on their machine, have that video upload after the fact. And so you get a high quality, sometimes 4K quality video of you and your guest synced up that you can now take, edit, repurpose, draw clips from, whatever, and put that out there as your finished product as a podcast episode. I think they do that job. They do that probably better than anyone else. Several other people added that functionality like StreamYard, even Restream, even EVMux. You can record locally and then upload after the fact, but it's not quite the same because it's just not their bread and butter. It's something they added on after the fact. And that's what I'm trying to say. You may not be able to get the best, but you'll be able to get something from some of the other platforms. And as long as it's okay with you, as long as it meets your standard, as long as it allows you to check that box and call it done, then I say go for it. Okay. I want to go back to my comment section and say a word of thanks yet again for David Harvey for the super chat. It truly, truly, truly means a ton to me. Now, Sippy Cup Adventures. Wow, this comment is way bigger than I thought it would be. But anyway, they came through. They said, can you speak of hosting guests/speakers with EVMux? How they must come into the stream? Must they have Chrome or from iOS? It must be from Safari, but that is limited by Apple's privacy features. Question. All right. So with EVMux, this is a great question. With EVMux, the guest experience, let's go. Let's see if we can show this. The guest experience is best done from Chrome. It's best done from Google Chrome. Can you be a guest from your phone? The answer is yes. should you have your guests join from a phone, I would recommend against it. I just don't believe that serious live streamers are entering the studio from a mobile device. That's just Kirk's personal opinion. You can argue with me. You can say you're dead wrong. I'm a serious live streamer and I only use my phone. I think the phone is best used when you're directly streaming to the platform that you're on, and then you utilize the platform to bring the guest in. Let's say you're streaming to Instagram with your phone. Instagram gives you the ability to bring a guest on. Same thing with YouTube. Maybe you're streaming to YouTube with your phone. YouTube allows you to bring a guest on with the phone. I think that the phone, if you're going to use a phone, if your guest has a phone, then you should just make the whole thing a phone experience. I think you're adding a layer of complexity when you're bringing your phone, you're using your phone to enter a platform like a StreamYard or Restream, OneStream Live, EVMux, Riverside. When you use your phone to enter, you've drastically limited. I just want people to recognize that broadcast production is a discipline and a practice that people have degrees in, people have studied for years and years. You're talking about big box production houses that have been whittled down to a browser, and we want to further whittle it down to a phone. So I personally, when I have a guest, I require them to use Google Chrome, and I require them to use a minimum a laptop with a webcam. They don't have that, they're probably not going to be a guest on my show, because I have a certain quality that I need to uphold. So the guest would have to be phenomenal for me to allow them to not be on a device, a laptop or a computer. They would have to be phenomenal. They would have to be bringing a ton of audience members in order for me to relax those rules. And I just keep on saying this to my live show hosts and live streamers out there. You're doing a live show. You want to make sure you know what the guest experience looks like. So send yourself the link for EVMux. Go through the process of joining as a guest. Make sure you know what that whole experience looks like before you do it. You send that to someone else. And because if you have an idea, if you have an awareness, if you're familiar with what they're going to go through, what they're going to see on their end, then you can actually set them up for success ahead of time. You can maybe even create a document, kind of like what I have in the Workers Warehouse, that you can send to someone ahead of time and allow them to know this is what this particular experience is going to be like. So hopefully that answers the question. Yes, on iOS, you have to connect using Safari, because Safari is the only thing on iOS that allows the browser to access your phone and microphone. Now, one of the things I was talking to somebody about yesterday was going into continuity camera. So using their computer, maybe even their laptop, to connect into being a guest on a show. In this particular case, it was Ecamm. And I showed them how to use continuity camera to use their phone as a webcam. Now, in that instance, the phone is actually really a great camera. And all you're using the phone for at that point is to be a camera. So it isn't the same as having the phone doing the processing and the internet and the audio and the video, right? Because you're asking the phone to do way too much when you take the phone and try to be a guest on somebody's show. Hopefully that makes sense. Thank you so much for the question. I want to see them keep coming. Keep those questions coming, y'all. On their next podcast says, EVMux is Windows compatible. Gotta have the transparent countdown. It is browser based, so it is platform agnostic. It doesn't care if you're using Windows or you're using Apple or you're using Google Chrome, for that matter. I had a Pixel book that I was using for quite a while, and so and I know that Tracy was asking a very similar question. So thank you all for your questions. Let me see what I have missed in the chat since we've been answering questions. Man, that thing went way down. All right, so I see we're coming up on some of the comments that I was responding to. Here we go. Here we go. So here we go. Thanks, Kirk. Dr. Vibe Show says, absolutely. Thanks, Kevin. I love to see that. Love to see when we can crowdsource our responses and answers. Man, Kirk, I'm always impressed and motivated by your setup. Major salute. Thank you. And I always love showing it. So Anytime I have questions that require me to show it, I definitely want to make sure I do that. Thank you so much, Tracy, as well. I totally agree. It would just look like the guest isn't taking it seriously. Yes, that's the piece for me. And I want to make sure that my guest shows up in the best light that they can. So I require them to do at least a laptop and a webcam at the very minimum. Oh, Ravens Talk with Yolanda is on the live. Thank you so much, Yolanda, for being with us today. One of our community members, also one of our moderators. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Kevin Cox says, I agree with the phone being a primary device isn't always recommended, but if someone is using a phone attached to a computer and using the webcam, that's something different. Exactly what I was talking about with continuity camera. There's a couple other utilities. Elgato has one. I know Camo is another really great one that allows you to turn your phone even without continuity camera into a webcam. And once you do it that way, it becomes almost like a DSLR. I mean, your phone camera is a really great camera. It's a really great camera. Thanks for answering my question. Use a laptop or desktop. My guest, I'm a bit behind, had to pause. Oh, no worries. But I thank you. I'm glad that we were able to touch on that question. And I'm glad that you were able to get the answer, because one of the things that many of us do, as you got a chance to see when I was kind of sharing some of my setup, it is in my opinion unfair to have your guests show up in a way that doesn't quite represent them as well. So definitely, I always try to make sure that they are doing things that is going to put them in the best light, and having them come in on a phone, it's not the way. And then you went and changed gears on us. Ah, man. Thank you. It's hilarious. Oh, man. And I would be streaming from iMac. Yeah, so you'll be streaming from an iMac. So if you're on an iMac, Sippy Cup, you should definitely consider Ecamm Live the Ecamm Live is what I'm using currently, and it is such a great software and so much functionality built in, and it's actually a comparable price to any of the other streaming softwares out there. But Ecamm Live is tier 3. What does tier 3 mean? Well, let's start from the beginning. Tier 1 is phone. It's direct to platform. It's using, there's nothing in between you and the platform other than your mobile device. That's tier 1 streaming. Tier 2 streaming is web-based. When you introduce web-based, now you're introducing a browser. So the browser is in between you, your camera, your microphone, and the streaming platform. And the platform is the one that's going to stream to your destinations. You see how we've created multiple hops? When you're tier 1, it's your device and the destination. That's it. Your device and the destination. You're giving the destination access to your phone, your phone's camera and microphone, and that's your streaming scenario. That's tier 1. Tier 2, you've introduced 2 hops. You're giving your browser access to your phone, your camera and microphone, whatever that might be, and then you're streaming to your destination, or which is the browser, which is the platform. Let's say it's Restream, EVMux, whatever it is, right? You're streaming to them, and then they are streaming to everyone else. I hope that makes sense. That's tier 2. Tier 3, however, is when you install the program locally on your computer. So Ecamm, OBS, vMix, Wirecast. There's a couple others, but they are locally installed on your computer, and then you stream either from the local installation to your destinations, or you stream from your local destination to something like a Restream or a Switchboard or a OneStream, and then from there you stream it out. Today, I'm streaming directly to YouTube from Ecamm on my Mac Mini. So there's no hops between my computer and the YouTube. Done. I'm streaming to YouTube. YouTube is sending the comments back to Ecamm, and we're good to go. So tier 3 streaming application works very well on the iMac, and you would absolutely love the quality you're going to get from something like Ecamm. That's my primary content creation tool, live streaming platform. I use it quite literally multiple times a day for so many different things I cannot even begin to count. So as you said, I would be streaming from an iMac. I just wanted you to know that Ecamm is an option for you because Ecamm is a Mac-based product. Good to see you, Tracy. Another NorCal resident to another. I like it. I love to see when we make those connections together. All right, we got a question from Yolanda. Listen, so Sippy Cup, yes, I record all my videos with Ecamm. All my videos I record with Ecamm. I do all my live streams with Ecamm. I bring guests in with Ecamm. I use Ecamm to do all my Zoom meetings. Yeah, because Ecamm works hand in hand with Zoom. I do use Ecamm even when I am a guest on someone else's show and they're using something like EVMux, Restream, or StreamYard. I still use Ecamm when I go on their show because the Ecamm has a virtual camera. So yes, Ecamm can do all of what you're talking about and more. And if you're already on a Mac, you definitely want to check out Ecamm. Park Bras says we used to use a browser-based streaming service, but moved to Ecamm. It has been life-changing. Ding, 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 ding. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Ecamm does both and eliminates lots of editing stuff when you get it set up right. So yeah, everything he's saying, yeah. There's a video that I dropped on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram yesterday. Maybe I'll just play that video. Do I have it? Let me just play that video real quick because I want you to see what's possible with Ecamm. Let's add a scene here. Let's do source is blank. And then let's go to movies. All right, so this is the video. Let's do this there, choose file. I want you to see what I was able to do with Ecamm. Music, nope, it's gonna be in movies. That's exports, and I think this is the one. All right, so this is the one. Hopefully you can hear it. Stop sound. Publish.
EVMux consistently finds ways to bridge experiences for beginner, intermediate, and advanced streamers. They've added 5 features that continue that tradition. First, we can now export scenes. Ever wanted to move a scene from one studio to another or share a design with a friend? Well, now we can. Second, and third, in their app marketplace, they've added RSS feeds as a ticker along with an advanced scrolling text widget, which is scrolling banners, but better. Fourth, in Pro Scenes, we get to choose our camera shape, circle, rectangle, or square, and even round the corners if we so desire. Fifth and final, we now have an option to add dynamic grid to Pro Scenes, basically adding all the familiarity and flexibility of the dynamic or StreamYard layout that may seem counterintuitive, but it's actually genius, y'all. Opens up a ton of options and again, allows us the ease to ease into Pro Scenes at our own pace. I'll share examples of each of these 5 new features, how to use them, and which one you should start using today in the full video on my YouTube channel.
So I'm just letting it finish. But that whole video was recorded with Ecamm and I did no editing. It's just one scene after the next, after the next. The entire video was recorded with Ecamm and I did 0 editing. I just wanted you to see what that looks like. And so to answer your question day by day, yes, Ecamm does bring in guests. I have a podcast called, let's see what I can do here. It's called Why I Go Live. And so let's see here, new scene. Let's go to preview mode. Let's go back over here. Let's go to this, choose file, and go to that. I haven't done, here we go. So this is me interviewing a guest on my podcast. that I recorded using Ecamm. So you shared with us a quote, and that quote is confidence and consistency will help you achieve any goal. Yep. Now, for the How It All Works audience, for my audience, they know that I'd like to do this thing on every morning around 6:30 a.m. called Morning Motivation. And I take a quote of the day and then I share that in terms of perspectives and some insights. But I want to kind of flip it around. This is your quote. I don't know who. Did you coin this?
In a second, but actually I did. And it's something that came out of my time of teaching and
so I'm gonna
watching my
this up
students.
A little bit.
Basically flourish.
Even these parts here, give us a little bit of the behind the scenes of what this quote means for you.
Sure. So confidence and consistency. So I've taught literally thousands upon thousands.
So I do all this with Ecamm. I'm gonna bring up like an overlay, and you're gonna see me behind it. So church streaming services.
Their lack of confidence in themselves. But I've also seen this amazing ability within them. It's kind of like someone seeing your
yeah. So Gios Amigos, Riverside.
And that's exactly
them as well. Check this out. Riverside will require you to download something if you have what's the term I'm looking for? If they're using a mobile device, they have to download an app if they want to connect into Riverside. But if they're not using a mobile device, they don't have to download anything. So hopefully that makes sense. But yes, I wanted to kind of give you some examples of things that I have recorded with Ecamm that that I did not do any editing. So what you're seeing right now, even with the different text coming down and all that stuff, all of it I recorded with Ecamm. And so the only thing that's not in the video is this video that I have on the screen right now. So what I'm going to do, let's come back here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to showcase what Ecamm looks like. So everything that you see on the screen right now is Ecamm, but I'm going to turn off some stuff. So I'm going to turn off the camera switcher, turn off that. I'm going to turn off my sound, turn off my interview mode, turn off the sound effects, or you can get rid of the zoom window, and then you just are left with the program window and the scenes window. And quite literally, that's all you need. The rest is just stuff that you might need in order to be able to design your stuff. So if I go to host plus top down, you can see that I've just clicked on the screen here. If I go to host plus screen, you can see I'm literally it's just host plus screen. And so I can do host plus comments. I'm just clicking on them. The rest of the stuff is not required during the live show. I just like to have them up because I like to see the screen that way. But once you've designed your scenes the way that you want them, you essentially have everything you need in there. And here's a video. All right, so everything is there, and it's fairly intuitive. It's function and feature rich, and I absolutely love it. So let me end live demo mode. And let me open back up all my screens because I feel naked without them. What happened to all my screens? Let me get my screens back. There we go. Now my window is back to the way that I like it. So hopefully you guys have seen everything. Now let me get one or two questions here. So this is the question I was looking to deal with, and I got sidetracked. So here we go. Ravens Talk with Yolanda says, when doing a vertical live stream using Ecamm, am I able to add a background to cover up the black that appears on both sides of the camera overlay? On both sides of the camera overlay when doing a vertical live stream. I need a little more information, Yolanda. I don't think I'm understanding your question very well. What black is over? Oh, okay. You're still looking at the wide version? Is that what it sounds like? That's what you're doing. So it sounds like you're looking at the wide version, but you have, the smaller vertical in the middle, and you're saying, can I cover up the black on both sides? And I want to say the answer is no, because the canvas, when you change to 9:16, which is vertical, you're changing the canvas to just that middle part. So you You don't need to cover up the black on either side because that is not being shown. That's not being streamed. It's not being recorded. Now, let me hasten to add, if you turn on ISO recording, you are recording your full camera, the whole 16:9, even though you're streaming by 9:16. I hope that makes sense. So if I, oh my, let's see here, overlays, where's the recording, show output, options, show vertical safe zone. Say okay. So now let me go back to live demo mode, right? So I don't know if you can see that, but you see how it's showing me the vertical safe zone. So I turn this on from time to time as a feature of Ecamm, because if I ever want to repurpose, then at least I know what's in the middle, right? It's showing me this vertical safe zone here. My assumption of what you're saying, Yolanda, is that everything that's in this gray section, you're saying, can I put an overlay over that? And the answer is no, because the canvas, right? The program window, what is being sent to the destinations is just in the vertical. That black part's actually not being sent, and it's not being recorded, at least not in the program view. So hopefully that makes sense. And I'll wait to hear from you in terms of your a response. But yeah, Park Bras, I couldn't agree with you more. Yes, Ecamm is a really dope platform. Can you bring guests in? I'm certain somebody responded to you by saying yes, and I actually show you that you can definitely bring guests in. I apologize, Sippy Cup Adventures. When you said that you have an iMac, I wanted to make sure you know that you have another option other than just EVMux. You have another option in Ecamm, because Ecamm is a Mac only product. And if you're a Mac person, I'm going to be honest, Ecamm really works the way that Mac works. It's so native to the way Mac sets up their things, such that the folks at Ecamm are working in tight configuration and lockstep and partnership with the folks at Apple. So many people ask me all the time, is Ecamm ever going to become have a Windows version? And I'm constantly telling them no, because I just don't see Ken and Glenn, who are the founders and the creators of Ecamm, ever doing the same kind of work that it would take for them to have that set up over on Windows as well. So turn off that vertical safe zone. Let me see what else we got. Yes, Ecamm can bring in guests in a couple different ways. Yes, you can bring in guests through their interview mode, and you can also bring in guests through Zoom. So I can open up a Zoom room and just bring anybody that's in the Zoom room into Ecamm and record them there. So that's been a really great feature that I really enjoy and have been using more and more and more. Day by day, you can also run a Zoom meeting and bring in guests that way. We did a viewer show like that a few weeks ago. Absolutely, man. Park Bras, you came through with the heat today, Doc. I appreciate you. You're getting the answers to the questions before I do, because I'm taking a lot more time because I'm on camera, and I thank you for that. Riverside told me I responded to that one already, Gios Amigos, and I'm hoping that you that you got that answer. Kirk Nugent, do you use a Stream Deck to switch? Everything is on the Stream Deck. Everything is on the Stream Deck. I mean, not only do I have the Stream Deck, I also have the Stream Deck pedal. That's one of the videos I'm getting ready to record for Amazon. But I also have the Stream Deck pedal. I also have the Elgato teleprompter. So yes, do I use a Stream Deck to switch? Absolutely. When you saw me switch to the BTS shot, that's the Stream Deck. There it is. And when you see me switch to the top-down shot, that's also Stream Deck that I'm using to do that. So, and then switching back to the main, if I want to go to the host plus top-down, host plus screen, comment screen, all of that I'm doing using the Stream Deck. So yes, the answer to your question, sir, is yes. It's yes. And so he's Kevin Cox is saying what's up to Kanik. I didn't see her in the chat, but I'm always glad when she's here. I literally just wiped Ecamm off my desktop last week in favor of EVMux. Now I need to reconsider, apparently. Oh my word. So Sippy Cup. Let's do this. Go to Flash. I'm putting a website in the chat right now. Okay, let's go to the comments. I'm going to put this up. I'm putting this website in the chat right now. This is for you, Sippy Cup Adventures of Northern California. I would love for you to be able to book a discovery call so we can talk directly. The discovery call is just 30 minutes. It's free. And we can talk directly about some of your options. But I want to know more about what type of show you're setting up and who you're looking, what the experience is that you want to have and what is your background in terms of content creation and live streaming, so that I can help you to whittle down that list. These platforms all, like I mentioned earlier, have their strengths and their weaknesses, Ecamm included. I love Ecamm. It's my go-to from pretty much everything that I do, but I still have StreamYard. I still have EVMux. Why do I have those? Because there are other scenarios where I need to utilize that. And so it's in asking some very specific questions that we're going to be able to figure out which one is going to actually do the job for you. So I don't want you to leave here confused. I'm so sorry that your head is spinning. I apologize for that. It wasn't my intention, but I did not know that you had Ecamm before. I think when we were talking in the comments, you were trying to figure out whether to go with StreamYard or EVMux. And I just want it to be very clear. Because let me give a quick example. If you're in a scenario where you have, where you need someone else to work with you to produce a show, you want somebody else to work on the comments, somebody else to do, to manage the scenes and bring in the guests and all that stuff. If you're in a scenario like that, Ecamm doesn't have functionality for that stuff. Because it's not web-based, you don't have multiple people that can log into this instance and manage it. I am managing Ecamm from here. If I wanted somebody else to be able to manage Ecamm for me while I'm live, I would need them to have Ecamm, and then I would connect to them as a guest, or they would have to remote into this computer and manage it for me. And I have done both as a producer for clients. I've done both, but I'm just saying that is a different experience than what a lot of people are used to from our web-based platforms. So maybe that's not a need for you, but maybe it is. But I'm saying that's just one example, but I would love to be able to chat with you and walk through some of these different platforms and help you to come at least make your decision with information. That's all I'd like to do. And I'm just offering that because I feel like we've confused you today, and I want to apologize. Normally it's $125 for that session, but you book the discovery call and you'll be able to have that for free. So would love to be able to chat with you and help you to make that determination. So hopefully that's helpful for you. And again, I'm glad that you're with us today. So let's see here. I think it depends on what aspect ratio you have set in Ecamm. All right. So now I need to consider Ecamm. And I responded to that one. Yes, sir. I have the pedal and XL and love them. Me too. I feel like that's the bundle that many people need to just go ahead and grab. I'm going to tell you, the pedal has for not needing to edit my videos, the pedal has been a game changer because I don't have to physically click or touch a Stream Deck button. I could just tap my foot and nobody sees it. It looks like it's a fully edited video, even though I'm just using the Stream Deck pedal and Ecamm. That's been a game changer for me in terms of cutting down the amount of time. Like, my video editor is like, are you sending me any videos to edit? Like, you're editing all these videos with Ecamm. I'm like, yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. Oh my word. She showed up when you hit all those Ecamm windows. Sippy Cup, I hope that yes, I saw your comment now. So good. I'm looking forward to that session. It's going to be a great one. Park Bras says, make sure y'all hit that like button. Kirk is out here giving all sorts of help today. Hey, this is what the Coaching Corner is all about. I want to make sure that we don't stay in our comfort zones and just do what we're normally used to and limit our growth and potential, never getting outside of it, never experiencing anything different and new. And here's the truth, y'all. There's a 2-week grace period or trial period for most of these platforms. And I always just recommend just taking them for a test drive. Kick the tires. I have a platform right now that I need to do testing with for a brand that I'm going to be doing some partnership with. And I'm taking the platform through its paces. The lady was like, do you want me to give you a demo? I was like, no, if I can't figure it out on my own, I don't want it. So I'm going to go through that platform. I'm going to beat it up. I'm going to tell them what I think about it, and we'll go from there. So I'm excited about that. And I want to say to Park Bras, thanks for coming through today and interjecting. Kevin Cox, all my moderators, Enea, Florence Donald, who else? Tracy, Mini Scenes GB. I didn't see David Hunt today, so we got to make sure we give him a hard time. But several of my moderators, you guys came through. We were clutch today. I want to say a word of thanks to all of you for being with us. We're way over our time, but it was time well spent, and I hope that those watching on replay gain equally as much value. My good friend Anthony T. Ladson is on the live with us today. Want to say a word of thanks as well. Sippy Cup is my absolute pleasure to be able to do that. I'm glad that we're going to be able to connect and we can walk through some of these pieces together. Listen, this is it. Comfort zones are internal areas that people regularly explore and are influenced by their experiences. Comfort zones are influenced by their experiences, by our experiences, by your experiences. While comfort zones can be safe spaces to retreat to from time to time, staying in them too long can limit growth and potential. Comfort zones don't necessarily have to be negative. They can be a positive thing depending on the situation. And there are several types of comfort zones, including habits of action, which we talked about today, habits of thinking. And then there are some roles, right? These are roles that people gravitate towards in their lives, such as caretaker, the expert, or the free spirit, relaxed, risk, and reckless. You also have the comfort, learning, and panic zones. These are all the different things that we want to touch on over the next couple of weeks here on the Coaching Corner, the space where we get a chance to pull aside for a little bit, take a rest from being in the fight, being in the grind, working in purpose and on purpose, where you can hear some different perspectives, you can get your questions answered, and you head back into the work week, back into the fight, rested, refreshed, with renewed energy, and hopefully motivated to tackle the bear that is the rest of your week. And I'm glad that you were able to come and hang out with us. We're going to continue talking about comfort zones next week, and I hope that you'll rock with us then too. As I always like to say, it's your boy Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher. Thankful for your time and attention today. We'll see you around these internet streets. Or, man, I can't even finish. I cannot finish without saying a word of thanks to Sippy Cup Adventures of Northern California. Thank you. Thank you. I want to say thank you. Hit that gunshot one more time. Thank you for the super chat. Hands down, the sign of the horns and sparkles around. Let's go. I love it. Thank you so much, Sippy Cup, for coming through, and thank you for the super chat. Both you and what's my other guy's name? David Harvey Official. I just want to say a word of thanks to both of you for being with us today and for your support. It means the world to us, and we take none of it for granted. Listen, every one of you came here today and you rock with us for the entire hour and 47 minutes. I want to say a word of thanks to each and every one of you, and I hope that you'll come back and rock with us next week. Grace and peace, fam. Make it a great one. Remember, don't let your comfort zones become a limiting factor in your life. Step outside of them from time to time. Create habits of action that include getting uncomfortable. I'll see you in the next one.
Mm-hmm.